Yo, what's up? Ever wonder why your brain tricks you, why people get manipulated, or how some folks stay laser focused? Today, we're breaking down 5 books that'll literally level up your mind. Let's dive. Alright fam, let's kick this off with Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Real talk, this book is like a manual for your brain, and not the kind you skim through. We're talking full-on cheat codes for how your mind works. So Kahneman drops this big idea: your brain's got 2 systems. System 1, that's your fast, emotional, impulsive side. It's the part that jumps to conclusions, trusts your gut, or freaks out when you see a spider. Think of it as your brain on autopilot, quick, instinctive, but kinda reckless. Then there's System 2. This guy's slow, analytical, logical. It's like your inner nerd who double-checks your math, weighs pros and cons, and actually thinks before you act. The crazy part, most of the time System 1 is running the show, and we don't even realize it. Here's an example. Ever bought something online at 3 a.m., saw a deal, clicked buy, and then woke up like, why did I just spend $200 on a gadget I don't even need? That's your System 1 pulling a fast one on you. If System 2 had been awake, you probably wouldn't have copped it. The book goes deep into cognitive biases, all the ways our brains trick us without us even knowing. Stuff like confirmation bias, only noticing info that matches what you already think. Loss aversion, we hate losing more than we love winning. And the anchoring effect, how the first number you see messes with your judgment. It's wild how often our decisions are basically illusions. And yo, here's the low-key mind-blowing part. Once you start noticing these biases in yourself and other people, life feels different. Shopping, dating, politics, even how you argue with your friends, it's all a game of recognizing which system is running. So why read this? If you're tired of making dumb choices or getting played, this book gives you the tools to slow down, spot the traps, and actually think like a pro. It's basically like upgrading your brain firmware. Alright squad, buckle up. This next one is Influence by Robert Cialdini. Real talk, this book is kinda scary, in a good way. Why? Because it basically exposes all the sneaky ways people mess with your head without you even knowing. Cialdini breaks it down into 6 universal principles of influence, and once you know them, you'll start noticing them everywhere. Ads, salespeople, social media, even your friends. Let's run through a few. First, reciprocity. This one's basically you owe me. Ever get a free sample at a store and suddenly feel like you have to buy something? That's reciprocity. Your brain hates feeling indebted, so marketers use this trick all the time. Second, social proof. Humans are kinda sheep, low-key. If everyone's doing it, we think it's right. You see a product with a ton of reviews or people lining up at a new burger joint, you're like, maybe it's good, even if you don't really care. Third, authority. People listen to the experts, even if the expert is just wearing a lab coat. Think about those commercials where some dude in a white coat says, science proves. Your brain is like, yep, must be legit. There's also scarcity, liking, and commitment/consistency, but here's the kicker. These tricks don't just sell stuff. They can get you to do stuff you don't even realize you agreed to. It's wild. Here's a low-key scary story. Ever notice how some influencer subtly says, I only have 3 left in stock, or grab this before it's gone? That's scarcity in action. You're panicking, heart racing, and bam, you just bought it. Your System 1 from Kahneman's book is eating that up. Reading this book, you start seeing when someone's trying to manipulate you, but also how to ethically influence people yourself. It's like suddenly understanding the cheat codes behind human behavior. Yo, now we're getting into some straight-up mind trip territory. Next up is The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat by Oliver Sacks. And no, I'm not kidding, that title is wild, but it's real. Sacks was a neurologist, and in this book, he shares all these insane stories of people whose brains literally glitch. Like, there's a dude who couldn't recognize objects. He literally looked at his wife and tried to put her on his head like a hat. Wild, right? Then there's people who could play music perfectly but couldn't remember their own name. Or patients who saw parts of the world completely differently. Some couldn't see faces, some couldn't see movement, some just couldn't connect the dots in their brain like we do. Here's the thing, reading these stories makes you realize how fragile and complex our brains are. Like, we walk around thinking our mind is solid, but one little thing can make reality feel totally warped for someone else. It's kinda humbling, low-key, and it's not just shocking, it's superhuman. Sacks always approached his patients with compassion, showing us that even when someone's mind works differently, there's still personality, creativity, and humanity in there. By the time you're done with this book, you'll be noticing all the little quirks in yourself and others. You might even start appreciating your brain's normal moments more. Because honestly, most of us don't recognize how lucky we are that our minds mostly work. Alright squad, now we're diving deep into Behave by Robert Sapolsky. And let me tell you, this book is next level science meets real life human chaos. If you've ever asked, why do people act like jerks? Or why do I freak out sometimes? This one's for you. Sapolsky literally breaks down every human behavior from the split second before it happens. He goes backward from the tiny neurochemical reactions in your brain to hormones to your upbringing to even evolution. It's like tracing every single step that led to someone punching you in traffic or scoring that promotion at work. Here's a wild fact. A single action like snapping at a friend can be traced back to your amygdala flipping out, stress hormones like cortisol surging, memories from childhood, and even evolutionary instincts from thousands of years ago. Mind equals blown, and it's not all doom and gloom. Sapolsky explains why people can also be insanely kind, heroic, or creative. Your biology sets the stage, but environment, culture, and choices play huge roles. Reading this book makes you realize humans are both beautifully complex and predictably wired at the same time. Low-key, it changes how you see literally everyone around you. That route driver, maybe biology plus stress plus environment. That friend helping a stranger, same deal but in the best way. You start to see patterns, not just random behavior. Alright fam, we're closing out with Flow by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and this one's all about hitting that zone. You know, when you're so locked in nothing else exists and hours feel like minutes. That's flow. Here's the deal. Most psychology books focus on what goes wrong, stress, anxiety, dumb decisions, but flow flips the script. It's about what goes right when your mind and body are in sync. When you're in flow, you're focused, creative, and straight up unstoppable. Ever been playing a game, writing, or even working out and suddenly time disappears? That's flow. Csikszentmihalyi breaks down how to trigger it. The challenge has to match your skills, distractions gotta be low, and you need clear goals. Sounds simple, but most people don't even realize it's possible to live in that state more than once in a while. Low-key, this book is life-changing if you're trying to crush your goals or just enjoy what you're doing. It teaches you how to stop half-assing life and actually get lost in the process, whether it's gaming, creating art, coding, or even learning something new. And here's the hype part. Flow doesn't just make you perform better. It literally makes you happier. You feel fulfilled, productive, and alive. Imagine combining all the stuff you learned from Kahneman, Cialdini, Sachs, and Sapolsky, then putting it into practice while being in flow. That's peak human experience right there. So yeah, that's it. 5 books that'll seriously level up your brain. First, thinking fast and slow. Understand your own decisions. Second, influence. Spot when people are messing with your head. Third, The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. Explore the mind's wild glitches. Fourth, Behave. See the biology behind every action. Fifth, Flow. Master focus, creativity, and happiness. Drop a comment. What part of your mind do you want to hack first? Smash that like button if you're ready to level up. And subscribe for more brain-boosting content. Peace.